If the dudes can sit around all day and name old athletes and just have the best time, was a best ball show, it would be this. Two best ball nerds sitting around talking about fun stuff, whatever you guys are interested in, whatever is top of mind. We're going to draft some best ball teams. We're going to talk about whatever floats our boat here in the best ball basement. Let's do it. All right, Rob, we have to start this show by me asking you, before we get into the fact that we're wearing sports jerseys like nerds and we're a best ball basement. I'm 37 years old with a backwards hat on. All that stuff is funny. Name the most obscure athlete that you were like a fan of. You know, who's an obscure athlete that somebody asks you, that you just loved when you were younger?
Well, the reason I watch football, I don't know how obscure he is. He's probably obscure now. But my favorite football player as a kid, that the person that got me into watching football, was Randall Cunningham.
Huh.
He was my favorite.
We would have to go down the list very far for me to to be that. And not that he's obscure, but that's the guy that got you into football is surprising.
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles, Randall Cunningham. If that dude played today, we might be calling him the greatest quarterback of all time. He was 25 years too early. The dude had a cannon for an arm.
Yep.
He ran in an era that you should not have ran as a quarterback. And he was dope. Like, go watch a Randall Cunningham highlight reel. And he punted a football 90 yards one time. So, absolute monster that just injuries kind of did him in a little bit, had a little bit of a resurgence with the Minnesota Vikings. And
yeah,
I'd say he's probably my most obscure NFL player that not everyone knows.
He's got to be somewhere on the list of you guys just don't know how good that dude was.
Yeah.
Right. Like for sure, which is funny because I'm wearing an Orlando Magic jersey, right? You asked me before the show. Yes, it is. It is a Penny Hardaway jersey. He is my favorite basketball player of all time. Top 5 favorite athlete of all time, for sure. Where does he rank? I'm not entirely sure. I think Ken Griffey Jr. has to be at the top. I named one of my dogs Griffey. So I think Ken Griffey Jr., I fucking wear a backwards hat every day as an old, like, if you want to talk about being influenced. Ken Griffey Jr. was the greatest. Yeah. So I do not own the one in your right hand. I own the one in your left hand, and so much so that Homage, the company Homage, the clothing company, they sell a shirt with the Ken Griffey rookie card on it. I bought the fucking T-shirt of the Ken Griffey Jr. I'll wear it next week. The Ken Griffey Jr. shirt. But I wore a Ken Griffey Jr. shirt yesterday. You did a morning stream. I did like a lunch stream or whatever. I wore a Ken Griffey Jr. shirt yesterday. But I wanted to shout out to the Orlando Magic. We're back. I was having a conversation, like for whatever reason, right? I'm in the suburbs of St. Louis, essentially. And my like friend group, all of us were diehard Penny Hardaway fans. Like he was our Jordan. He was our LeBron. He was our whatever. He to me, but I think it's nostalgic in the way, like you mentioned with Randall Cunningham, where it's like, I don't think the normal basketball fan knows how good Penny Hardaway was, right? It was injuries, and then Shaq. The injuries killed his career, and Shaq going to the Lakers, right? Like, if they had stayed together, what would have been? They made the finals 1 year, got stomped, but who knows, right? Like, I wonder what it would be like if Penny and Shaq played together. So with the Orlando Magic being back, They traded for Desmond Bain, traded a lot for Desmond Bain. I'm like, I've been itching for like something else. Like I have my teams. I've rooted for them like all my life. I haven't had a team. I've lost teams. I lost the Rams. I no longer root for the Rams, right? Because I lost them. I've been looking for that new team, and the Desmond Bain trade, and like, you know, all of this nostalgia coming back from the Penny and Shaq Magic. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna root for the Magic now.
Yeah, I was telling you before the show, I was like, is that a Penny Hardaway jersey? Because I was at the around here we have the Rentham premium outlets, and I was in like the lid store that has all the jerseys, and I was just staring. I was with this girl that I'm seeing, Regina, and I was just looking at the Penny Hardaway jersey, and I'm like, I can't buy it because where am I going to wear it? And she's like, why do you care so much? I'm like, I was a Jersey kid when I was younger, and my favorite basketball jersey that I owned was my Penny Hardaway jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, was staring at it, and I didn't pull the trigger, but I might have to now.
We were from the generation before like an actual quality clothing company took over the basketball jerseys.
Yeah.
Champion back then. And like these mesh pieces of shit jerseys, you know, the tag would get all like wrinkled after 2 washes, and the shit would start falling off the jerseys and whatever. We were from the generation that made the Charlotte Hornets starter jacket a thing. You know, that we are a very bizarre generation. Steve in the chat from Memphis, which is of course where Penny now coaches Memphis basketball, right? Which is pretty cool. He's not a great basketball great recruiter, as you might expect when you're Penny Hardaway. But he went to school. I wonder also how many people remember when Penny was at Memphis. It was Memphis State University was what it was called. It is now just Memphis because it doesn't make any. When they put state on the end of things constantly, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But he was also just like a lifestyle icon. You remember Chris Rock being Lil Penny. You can't find like Lil Penny like action figures and you know all that kind of stuff anymore. They're like crazy collector's items, like t-shirts with Lil Penny and stuff. Like he was everywhere. It started to make Chris Rock was not that famous when he became Lil Penny. It was like kind of a launching pad for Chris Rock's career. Ironically, Penny Hardaway was.
Yeah, that and you had the Grandmama from LJ as well. That was the obscure commercial generation, I guess, is what we were a part of, where they were just trying to find these characters. And you know, the most recent iteration of that is probably the Kyrie Irving. What was it, like the grandpa or something? And they made a movie, which was insane that they did that.
What was that movie? Kyrie Irving basketball movie. That's what we're gonna.
Absolutely wild. That like when I saw that movie I'm like, who wants the full like
Uncle Drew?
Uncle Drew. Did you want a full Little Penny movie? No. Did you want a Grandmama movie? Absolutely not.
It's like a YouTube short.
It's Drew movie.
It should be like a TikTok, you know, like we could accomplish the Uncle Drew movie in an Instagram reel. We don't need an hour and a half of Kyrie as a grandpa or whatever the hell it was with all these cameos. Very, very bizarre. I mean, 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb. There's worse movies apparently than Uncle Drew, though I would be hard pressed to find one.
Dude, it's like when SNL does a movie on one of their, you know, things that should only last 5 minutes, and it's like, how are you doing? like It's Pat made like $11,000. I'm not even joking, in the box office when we were younger, and everyone when they were making it, they were like, how do you do this movie for an hour and a half? The answer is you don't. Sometimes you just don't. And that's what happens. So yeah, absolutely wild that was an entire movie.
It's definitely no tiptoes.
Definitely no tiptoes.
There's on the Mount Rushmore of horrible movies is definitely Tiptoes. AJ said hilarious that yours isn't a question mark at the end. Yours is an exclamation point. I don't know what that means for AJ's love for you, but it is fun. If you do look behind me, there's a lot more basketball shit. I don't think there's anything football. The original design for the first football helmet is but I mean I don't own, it's not like the fucking it's like a copy of the Mona Lisa. It's not a real, right, it's not the real, but that's the only football thing I think I have in here, which is funny because I played I played football the longest. I played in college, I coached and everything afterwards, but basketball was for sure the first like sport that I just like fell head over heels for, watch. But again, we came from that I am showing my age to K Sizzle and the like. There was like we didn't have cable TV, dude. Like you only got to like you watched basketball like reruns or bought the fucking VHSs, or whatever. Like we didn't get like it was like every Sunday or whatever. Like I wanted to watch Ahmad Rashad, like interview these people. It was the first sport that I really like fell in love with, even though football now is a much bigger part of my life.
Do you want to see my one basketball item I have over here? My one it's like probably my biggest grail that I have that I'll probably never part with. Let me grab it.
Let's see. Oh man.
Do you know what these are?
Yeah, I think you've told me this. I mean, they're obviously Jordan 1s, but what?
These are my first pair of sneakers ever.
That's right.
They are the original Jordan 1s.
Yeah, the first Jordan 1s. The ones that if you've watched oh my God, what's the document? The Last Dance. He talks about bringing out when he returned, bringing out the Jordan 1s, and they're so fucking uncomfortable.
His they're the worst.
Bleeding.
I have so many pairs of them. But they are they're the worst to wear.
They make every color. They're the best. They're the best for if you want to still feel young at our age, you can get all the Jordan 1s and it's acceptable. Like if I was wearing ants like Anthony Edwards or John, like they would clown me. Like what the fuck is this guy doing? But I can wear Jordan 1s and not get clowned, and they have every colorway, imaginable. So they're awesome, but they're ungodly uncomfortable. How are they making retro? If you're making a retro Jordan 1, shouldn't you make it more comfortable? Why is it the same? Why is it still the same design as the early 90s?
Pressing them on the same machines they used in 1985, with this garbage leather. But I'll take it. I wear Jordan 1s and I wear Jordan 3s. Is like the twos that I constantly go to.
Yep. Airbud was also hilariously our generation. This, however, K Sizzle, you are approaching on a timeout from the YouTube chat. I will not take Blue Chip slander. Blue Chip is an elite movie, and I will hear nothing of it. It was also like so far ahead of its time that like it predicted the fucking future 20 years later in college basketball.
Not only ahead of its time, the fact that they got Shaq and Penny to be in that movie was wild. Like that the NBA in college and everyone would allow actual NBA players to do that when they probably were actually living that life.
Right.
So that was always wild to me. But I watched Blue Chips every week, it felt like.
Dude, I would rewatch Blue Chips constantly. Shaq tells a story from Blue Chips. I can't remember which. It might have been on the 30 for 30 that they did on those Magic. Shaq talks about, so that was Penny. Shaq was on the Magic. Penny was in that draft. And, remember, that was Chris Webber. And like, that was a good draft. And they, for whatever reason, I can't remember, the Blue Chips people wanted Penny, on the movie, and Shaq was already signed up. And so they would like work out. Right. Like when they weren't shooting, they had a gym and they would work out and stuff. And he would be working out with Penny. And after working out with him a couple days, he went to the front office of the Magic and was like, "You better get this dude. He's like, this guy is the truth. And this is who I want to play with. Do not draft Chris Webber." Notably, they drafted Chris Webber and traded him for Penny to get a little bit of extra, which was actually good. One of the very few good things the Orlando Magic front office has done in a long time. But he was like in love with Penny, and he was right. Shaq is like all of us, an imperfect person. I think some of his basketball takes are pretty trash, actually. But everything that dude touches turns to freaking gold, man. That dude is a wizard.
Yeah, makes all the money. Shazam as well, so definitely a wizard. What do you think is the worst? Kazam, not Shazam, right?
Shazam is the new. Speaking of, what's the worst movie? Have you watched Shazam, the new the superhero movie? Awful, just awful.
Well, the sequel is worse. The sequel is worse. I watched it on an airplane because sometimes there's just airplane movies, so I watched the sequel. There is one of the extra Shazams. So I don't know, the Shazamanites. One of the girls that is extremely hot, though, is what I will say. Amazingly hot. I was like, wow, that girl is insanely hot. I was gonna ask you, what we had a million basketball movies from our generation growing up. And then I think we probably I mean, I'll speak for myself. I probably watched all of them 5 to 10 times. Do you think any of them don't hold up? Because I have one in my head that I haven't watched in 25 years that I bet is not good. I loved it as a kid.
Ooh, that is a great question. Blue Chips definitely holds up. Just so starting from there, I've watched it not that long ago. Space Jam shockingly holds up. Better than I thought that it would. Real Space, not the fucking LeBron bullshit. The real Space Jam, right? Another iconic movie. Hoosiers is fine. It's supposed to be,
Well, Hoosiers is like the sports movie that sort of laid out the blueprint in my mind. Yeah. So it's has like every cliche, but it like made up all the cliches.
Exactly. It's like Rudy. You're like, part of it's going to be like a little bit off, but that's kind of the point. I'm trying to think of some of the other basketball movies. We had a lot of baseball movies too, which were also great. We had an awesome, being a 90s baby was pretty goddamn awesome. I know I wasn't born in the 90s, but you know what I mean? Like our childhood being in the 90s.
So we had He Got Game. We had Love and Basketball.
He got the basketball portions of He Got Game are absolutely atrocious, and Ray Allen is an absolutely atrocious actor. I can't believe that Ray Allen got cast. And also, Jesus Shuttlesworth is the funniest goddamn name ever. And there's just like a random like porno scenes in the middle of He Got Game for absolutely no reason.
Above the Rim is the one I was thinking of.
Oh,
I bet Above the Rim.
Sinbad? No,
Above the Rim is Tupac.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that they played like the 3-on-3 tournament or whatever it is, and then what?
Yeah, I feel like there's I haven't watched it in 25 years. I feel like someone tried to dunk a basketball and flew off a roof or something.
I'm gonna have to rewatch. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember this. Yeah, they just straight pull out guns during the middle of this basketball tournament.
He hides the razor blade in his mouth.
And it was there's a lot of famous people in that movie, isn't there? Like the one dude was the Wayans brothers are in there, aren't they? Obviously, Tupac.
Maybe.
Bernie Mac is in there. And Above the Rim, they tried to capitalize on all of the basketball movies are it. Tupac is obviously Tupac, so let's capitalize on it. And who fucking wrote this? You can't just have a basketball. It's like if White Men Can't Jump and Woody Harrelson just fucking shivved a dude in the middle of a tournament and they just kept playing. You can't. We have to have some reality baked into the movie.
It's like the opening of what's that Bruce Willis movie? Bruce Willis and one of the Wayans brothers, they had that great football movie. It just starts off with they're trying to fix a game and they go up to the running back and they're like, you better score a touchdown on the next play. And he just grabs a gun and he just starts shooting all the defenders as he's running. And you're just like, what are we all right, I'm in, but what are we doing here?
What's the Al Pacino football
Boy
movie?
Scout, that's the one. Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday is kind of the same thing. It's but that one felt like they were trying to be over the top, right? With the injuries and the Jamie Foxx puking on the field and we're shooting up the old and also just the racism in Any Given Sunday is absolutely hilarious. There's just all that shit from those old. It's just absolutely epic. And you look back but then you get to the end of close to the end of Any Given Sunday, and Al Pacino gives this insane speech, right? That's last stands all time, right? Same thing we were talking about with Blue Chips holding up and predicting the future is this truly ridiculous movie, right? LL Cool J and all these idiots in this movie, Jamie Foxx, and then he gives this speech where you're like, I'm ready to go run through a fucking wall for this dude. Cameron Diaz is the owner of the team, it's so ridiculous. And then you get to the end and I'm like, yep, cool. I sat through all that nonsense and this speech, like, I'm fully in.
Yeah, it was like Al Pacino just he gathered it all together for one last great scene, and then after that he went a full hooah like Al Pacino for the rest of his life. It's like, did you watch The Irishman a couple years ago?
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but the fight scene where they try to de-age Robert De Niro and he's like trying to
pretty
kick the
terrible.
dude, and you're just like, oh my god, what are we doing here? Let's not do this. Let's do a different camera angle than this. He's 100. It was so bad. It was like, come on, man.
This is kind of hilarious. Basketball movies that don't hold up. American History X, because Edward Norton dunks a basketball.
Yeah,
that's good. I assume you watched Hoop Dreams because the same thing, we all watched Hoop Dreams. I would say every odd numbered year, there's something in my search history looking up what happened to the kids from Hoop Dreams, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're so old. Like I still will always remember them as these 16, 17-year-old kids, and I thought that, I'm like, they made a documentary about these awesome basketball players. They're from not that far away from me. I know the high schools they're talking about, right? And then you look back and you're just like, it's like if they did a documentary about like literally anyone. It's like Hoop Dreams. I'm like, yeah, no, these were hoop fucking nightmares. These guys were like, these guys were like just your regular old good enough high school basketball players. And they made this documentary that, again, I would watch. Like, I'd watch it right now if it was on, but it's like crazy because like these guys are totally irrelevant, names in the basketball landscape, but they happen to have this crazy impactful documentary made about them.
Yeah, that was. I think I only watched that once. Oh, we're doing the Like Mike Lil Bow Wow movie.
Was it like what was? Did he do a different basketball movie?
No, he did Like Mike. Like Mike, because he got the shoes, right? And it turned him into.
Was the shoes the magic power?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Which, if he got Michael Jordan shoes, they were probably like size 15, which Lil Bow Wow could probably sleep in one of those because he's so small. He's not actually wearing one of his shoes. The other one is the Basketball Diaries, the Leo DiCaprio movies.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
Leo was like a teenager then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was young. Diaries? Yeah, that was coming either off of or going into the other movie with Johnny Depp.
God damn it. I know
What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Yeah.
Which is another phenomenal movie.
My favorite. I love that. I also love this. Is like we were also in the generation where everybody put Lil every rapper put Lil at the beginning of his name, and Bow Wow, once he got to be like 22, just removed. And it's like, how come nobody else like Lil Wayne is still Lil Wayne? That motherfucker's like 60 and he's still Lil Wayne, but Bow Wow was like, enough, I'm not a child anymore. But Lil Wayne was famous as a rapper when he was 16. I guess Bow Wow was like 12 when he first got famous, so maybe that's the cutoff. Is like he hadn't hit puberty yet, so he removed the Lil.
But Lil Wayne's like 5'3". Did I tell you about the time I almost ran over Lil Wayne?
No, and I'm
okay. I wasn't driving.
This
wasn't driving.
And we've worked together for like 5 years, and you have never. Lil Wayne is my favorite. Lil Wayne, Eminem, whatever. 1A, 1B, favorite rapper of all time. I can sing like the lyrics from like half of Lil Wayne songs ever, and you've never told me that you ran him over.
We almost ran him over. So. So Jesse's into music and all that stuff, and we
shout out Jesse, by the way. Check out his Spotify. It's he makes all of our music. He makes tons of music. If you want to check out a individual music creator, check out Jesse.
So he got hired to DJ a Lil Wayne party and a Diddy party.
Oh Jesus!
But it was at a club. It wasn't a normal.
It wasn't at Diddy's house.
It wasn't at a house.
I did not expect Jesse went to a Diddy party to come up in the first time we did this.
Well, I went as well, but I got another story about that too. So we're in Miami. We're like setting up this club because we're doing the two shows there. We're doing the Lil Wayne show. We're doing the Diddy show. And we get called by Lil Wayne's manager. They're like, Lil Wayne's about to go film a music video. Do you want to be in it? And we were like, yes. So we're in it. You barely see us in it, but it's I think it was
which video?
da 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 da. I think. So basically, he's up on so they were like, "Come be in it." And we're like, "Okay," but we just show up, and he's like on top of the roof of a building, and we're like in the crowd looking up, like our job was to be like extras on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the day before, we were driving down Ocean Drive in Miami, and he just sort of stumbled into the road, and like we almost just hit him with the car, and he just sort of looked at us, and we looked at him, and we're like. And he just kept going. And we're like, all right, later, Lil Wayne.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was, I'm trying to think.
That was the
we were
New
Orleans,
probably the Super Bowl that New Orleans beat Indy in.
Okay.
So that we were in Miami for that Super Bowl. But
I'm literally playing. This was 2010. The song was released in 2010. Yeah.
That sounds
so
right.
Yeah. Where our college, college, post-college years. Yeah. On Rebirth. Notably one of his worst albums.
Yeah. One of the worst.
Maybe
albums.
the worst. That if you're not super familiar with Lil Wayne, this is the album that Prom Queen was on. Okay. So that's how you know it was absolutely fucking atrocious, because he became he was so bored with being the best rapper on the planet, he tried to become a rock star on this album.
Yeah. So while we were DJing, I'll give one more story. We were DJing the Diddy thing, the Diddy party at the club.
This whole promoting Jesse thing went south in a fucking hurry.
I know. So it's a club party. We're sitting there. It's me and Jesse in the DJ booth, and this dude comes up to us, and he hands us a CD, and he goes, "Hey, yo, Diddy said to play this. This is my CD." And we just look at him. We're like, "All right, man." So he hands it to me, and he walks away, and me and Jesse look at it, and we just both go, "Who the hell is Whale?" It was Wale.
Wale, yeah. I love Wale.
I love Wale now too, but at the
Wale's
time, nobody
great.
knew who Wale
You
is.
didn't know who's Whale.
We both were like, who the hell is Whale?
And why does he spell it like that?
Yeah. Like, what is this?
Whale without an H. Whale without an H.
Rick Ross, also the ugliest human I've ever seen in my life. As he was walking in,
I've seen Rick Ross in person too.
Have you seen him without his sunglasses on?
No, only. Notably, he doesn't go out without sunglasses. Like that's like a thing. Yeah. He's so fat and ugly. He wears sunglasses and huge clothes because he's a disgusting human being.
Do you want me to tell you why he wears sunglasses at all times and how I wish he was wearing them this night? He walks in the club without his sunglasses, and I swear his eyes were just like googly eyes.
He's got crazy eyes.
They were just rolling around, like not matching. I was like, Rick, bro, I'll give you my sunglasses right now. This is a travesty.
It is crazy how many of those people don't look like you see them on TV, and then in person, it is actually like, of course, they look like themselves, but the difference is pretty wild. It was funny. I was listening to Bill Simmons because notably, like I said, I'm getting into the Orlando Magic now. And they were breaking down the Desmond Bane trade, and they talked about Lou Dort, which of course there's a basketball game tonight. Pacers 2-2. Man, what an awesome night. 2-2 Pacers Thunder. I'm super excited for that game in an hour or so. And they were like, if you saw Lou Dort in person, like you would probably think he's a professional athlete, but is he the middle linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens? Is he the catcher for the New York Yankees? Is he what you're like? He just looks like a mutant of a human being. And I'm like, and that dude like can barely dribble in a basketball game, right? Like he's the one of the most insane athletes on the planet, and he's like unimpressive when you watch him play basketball, other than when he's playing defense. And it's like, that's how I think about like all these celebrities, is what you think about them from just viewing them on TV. Is like, you see them in person or whatever, it's never what you think in a variety of different like goofy ways. They always look different or whatever. I remember seeing this year, I watched the Thunder play twice, went to Oklahoma City and watched him in Minnesota as well. Chet Holmgren, it's as crazy as he looks on TV with how tall and skinny he is. it's freakier. It's freaky. We got lucky enough to sit courtside, got front row seats, and the Thunder warmed up right in front of us. We were on the baseline, and Chet is like, it's like disgusting. Like I'm freaked out by how skinny he is. It's like I'm like, his chest is like going in. It's like going inwards. And I'm like, how is this guy one of the best basketball players on the planet? You're just sitting there like, what happened in my life? Like, I could like go knock him over like so easily.
Yeah.
But he's gonna make like $500 million in his life playing basketball. And I'm sitting here talking about best ball, right? Wearing a Penny Hardaway jersey.
All you gotta do is be like 7'5". I saw Yao Ming once. I went to a Celtics game that Yao Ming was there, and it was jarring how big of a human being he was.
7'5"?
He was up there.
7'5", 7'6".
Yeah, he made everyone else look real weird.
One of the only people that he was a problem for Shaq. One of the only people ever to like. Shaq just bullied everybody. Yao was a fucking. If he wasn't so tall and had the health issues similar to Penny, Yao was awesome, like really good.
Yeah, Yao was pretty awesome. It was very cool to see him. Yeah, I'll stop with the Miami stories for now. There's so many stories from that trip. I'll tell some more in the future.
Let's go ahead and where are we drafting tonight? We never even decided on that. Yeah, Sean Bradley, George Mirasan, Bull. I'm trying to think of all the other tall guys.
You want to do a single entry somewhere?
Sure. Dude, Yao was 7'6" and could shoot. Like in the modern NBA, Yao would hold up. Like Shaq couldn't hold up in the modern NBA because he can't dribble and he can't shoot. He was just, so physical. Yao could shoot. Dude, if Yao played in the current generation, he'd probably make like 3 threes a game. He'd be shooting 3-pointers. Yao would. It's crazy how good he was.
Want to do the $15? The $15?
I think I already did it.
I could do it on mine.
That's fine. I'll join with you, and I'll send you a $750.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've done it. Well, it's a. I'm in a slow.
You're in a slow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see because we need 11 people to join this $15.
Okay, you motherfuckers. Chris, you and your family, you got to join us here. No collusion, by the way. It won't ever get probably kicked out on DraftKings because they let their drafts run. Notably on Underdog, if you and your wife join the same draft in about 6 to 7 months, we'll find out if it's going to hold up.
One of the problems with DraftKings is we already at 8 of 12, so I guess we are doing this.
Okay. It doesn't update the amount of interest. It's so stupid.
I hate it so much.
Just a fucking $10 billion company or whatever they are now, probably more. And you can't show it like when someone joins, I can't see.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah, what if I'm just sitting here staring at it like a psychopath?
Though I will say, when you go into the app, it's quicker to get to Best Ball. Best Ball is more prominently placed in the DraftKings app than it is the fucking Underdog app.
Yeah, I can do it in 2 clicks.
Crazy. It's literally when you open the app, if you just open the DraftKings app, Best Ball is right in your face in the upper left, and it is not anywhere like there. It doesn't even fucking say Best Ball anywhere in the Underdog.
You have to
app.
solve the Da Vinci Code just to figure out where the fucking Best Ball contests are on Underdog at this point.
What's the Chinese finger trap? That's what it's called, right? The Chinese finger trap or whatever. That's what it feels like. You're like, I'm speaking of all of our 90s memories. Like I have to solve one of these stupid fucking things that I hated back when I was younger, just to find out like where are the rankings exactly on the Underdog Best Ball app? Like what? Even on the what is it? Origins or originals?
Originals,
which is even worse than Origins. But there's still ads for Pick'em in that tab, and it's like, guys, we get it. That's the company you are. We totally understand that, but at least just give us our safe space.
Yeah,
like at least just give us the space where we get it. I'll tolerate the Pick'em stuff, but don't I feel like they took it a step too far.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago, I don't know if you remember, but they were like, we're going to set it up so that if you want drafts to be your main thing that you enter, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. And then we're like, yeah, actually, it's going to be chapter 10. you gotta read half this book before you could draft the best ball team.
It's kind of like the Any Given Sunday movie. It's like you gotta sit through a lot of shit to get to this really memorable thing that you waited for, you know. And I hope you enjoyed 2 hours of terrible fucking acting from LL Cool J, because you're gonna enjoy that, right? Jamie Foxx throwing up on the field, you know, like whatever. Cameron, 23-year-old Cameron Diaz as an NFL owner, like, this is super believable. Like, these guys would give power to this young blonde attractive woman. It's like we got to sit through this bullshit story to get to the good stuff. Like, that's the Underdog app experience. The website's great. I enjoy drafting on desktop on Underdog. They do a good job, but the app, I feel like it's just crazy.
All right, we got the second pick. I'm gonna go through and fix my DK Draft Hacker settings because I reset them all like a moron.
That's a lot of yellow.
It's a lot of yellow.
I can't use the yellow; it's too bright.
The yellow is good on Drafters.
Underdog or Drafters. Yeah, it works. But the white on DraftKings, the yellow doesn't work very well.
Right. Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to flip the board in this single entry?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not going to get Chase. So
this is an absolute fact, Adam. Best Ball Bros will literally sit around all day talking about stupid things.
We didn't plan any of this, by the way.
There was not a single ounce of planning. Not one. Other than the fact that we said we're going to, like, just have fun.
Yeah.
Had absolutely no. I didn't know you were going to wear a jersey. You didn't know I was going to wear this. Like, literally nothing was planned. It probably feels like that's a lie, but I promise it's not. Oh yeah, Chris is at the 101. So don't write off the Jamar Chase just yet. Actually, we probably should.
I'm going to write it off.
Yeah.
There's no way. He knows he's under pressure. He's being watched. There's no way he doesn't take Jamar Chase. Too scared.
Exactly. Also,
too scared to flip the board.
Yeah.
We're not too scared, though.
No. So who is your favorite flip the board guy?
Nico, but we could do Malik.
Let's do Neighbors, if you're okay with that.
Yeah. Let's flip
I think it's nice because we have a bunch of candidates for it. If you're willing to go under on someone in the top 3, you don't have to fade them, but if you're willing to go underweight on literally just 1 or 2 guys in the top 3 or 4, you can flip Neighbors, Puka, Nico, right? Like BTJ, whatever. I mean, if you like the running backs, you want to flip CMC or Genty, you can do that too. I'd like the wide receivers better, of course, but we have some awesome, like, legit awesome candidates to do it with. So it's more fun this year. Like, flipping the board last year and taking fucking Drake London or whatever just felt just disaster, right? Like Marvin Harrison. But taking Nico, like, Nico Collins is a superstar, right? Malik Neighbors is a superstar. So I feel like you can actually do it and feel better about it this year.
So I'm going to just run down what I have showing on the screen right now. The first one is tourney percentage, so everyone's going to be 0 on this because it's a single entry. The second one is with my QB1, then with my first round, my second round, then projected ownership with my round 1 and round 2 player.
Oh, nice.
And that's going to show us some really fun stuff when we get back on the clock here, for sure.
Yeah, I love the projected ownership.
It's my favorite.
I still do most of mine. All of my that I use with the hacker is just my portfolio. But I don't know that that's that's the best way to do it. That's just how I try to look at the like the projected ownership. Look at tournament DB. Look at my opponent draft boards. Like, I try to look at it as frequently as I can. Every day is probably a stretch.
Yeah.
But I use it a ton so that I'm like then when I'm in the drafts, I'm more so massaging my portfolio, and it's like already ingrained in my brain. I don't need to see it because I already have like 10 percentages up there or whatever on my screen. Adding more, I feel like is a little overkill, but that's it. The flexibility is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So a question in the chat from TLR is what exactly is flipping? Flipping is when you sort of take players in spots that they don't frequently go. And what you'll see when we get back on the clock, if you look right now, this is usually the range of players that gets paired with Malik Neighbors. So if you look at my board, you can see that
Can you zoom one? Can you zoom one tick?
Yeah.
In?
Well, that's two. But let's go back one.
It's all right.
So if you look, you can see that Lad is 11%. So 11% of the time, we're projecting him to be with Malik Neighbors. A-Chance 13%, Jonathan Taylor 12, AJ Brown 10, and then you start to see a drop off.
Yeah, well, look at the fall off.
Yeah. So some of these guys that have been falling down the board or rising up, like Rashee Rice, who was going in the third, he's a little bit higher.
Because Rashee was cheaper once upon a time. Yeah, so he's the standout there.
So, but if you look, if we get down here, like I'm not a huge Josh Jacobs drafter, but if you're telling me I can get Malik Neighbors with Josh Jacobs and it's only 3% owned, in general, how owned is it going to be in a single entry tournament?
The best way to draft Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
It's the best. Like, it's like, okay, if I don't love this guy, but I'm willing to be open to the fact that I could be wrong, draft him on the team that no one else would ever draft him on.
Exactly. And there's another guy here that's real interesting to pair with Malik Neighbors as well that we might have to take a look at. But we're on the clock. So, like, yeah, I like Taylor better than Jacobs, but we can get a 3% ownership here with Josh Jacobs if that's what we want to do. Or we can go with T. Higgins, who's only projected to be 4% owned with him. So, do you have a preference? Do you
think Chris is going to take T? I doubt he's going to take Jacobs. That's the only reason. I would like to get Jacobs and T.
Well, let's take Jacobs because I want to show you something else.
Okay.
If we can do it.
This is what I do, by the way, with like I'm gonna have like 1 or 2%. Of course, he took T, like insta called.
Yeah, but look at this. This is why I wanted to do this. Now we can take Garrett Wilson, who is projected 1% with Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right.
And now you can just do whatever the hell you want.
Now you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. And Versier saying, if this is single entry, do you care about projected ownership and filling holes in that specific tourney? And my answer is, for me, more so. Because I feel like people's assholes pucker up in single entry tournaments and they don't want to mess it up. So when I flip the board in a single entry, that ownership number that we're showing is projected across all tournaments. It's going to be even less on this. So there might be no other Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson teams that ever happen, and possibly none with Josh Jacobs as well. That might be one of the most unique starting three that anyone has in this entire tournament. Doesn't mean I'm going to win, no, but I have a team that nobody else has, is essentially what we're doing here.
This is fair and not necessarily the most exploitable way to do it, is what I say. Like, I would bet, and this may sound crazy, but Adam says single entry, I feel like it's easier to get unique combos by just waiting for fallers. Somewhat true, but if right now, this team that Rob just drafted is probably the only team in the whole tournament that is going to have those first three players. He can now get fall, right? You can still take advantage of fallers throughout the course of the draft, but it's like, if you like Malik Neighbors or Josh Jacobs or whatever, you can just instantly create this unique combination of players right from the jump. And like, you don't have to like pray that the room gives you, right. And a faller isn't necessarily creating a unique combination. You can fall and still be frequently drafted with, right? Because if you're just like on a side of the board, you're just like always going to be somewhat, whether you fell or not, right? It's really the flipping of the board at the start that gets you everything. And TLR is like, So it's pretty much limited to the first few rounds when draft order is relatively predictable. It is, but it does go on a little longer than you might think.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9 rounds, because especially like with things like quarterbacks, things like tight ends, the running backs, wide receivers, especially on DraftKings, might be a little bit more fluid, but like people are stacking, right? So like Joe Burrow is very, very tied to Jamar Chase on that side of the board. T. Higgins, obviously, as we see, is tied to that side. There's just like so many instances like that where the sides of the board overlap so much from an ownership perspective that, again, in the single entry, like this also like isn't DFS. It's like the single entry is just a part of your portfolio. Who really gives a shit? Like for us in terms of how we're drafting, but our opponents are like, it's single entry. I can't reach in single entry. And it's like, but why? That's when you probably should do it. So it's really exploitable. I love those contests.
Yeah. The single entries are usually my favorite. And I think it's because I feel like I can that's when I get more, like I'm extreme relative to my portfolio to others. But for me, these are the ones that I am 100% drafting from my desktop so that I can make sure that I am getting completely unique teams. I don't fire single entries from my phone on any site.
I'm even doing them in slow drafts, as I mentioned, because it's even easier for me to, look at a bunch of that data.
We are on the clock. Is there anyone here that
I don't care what DK Metcalf's ownership is. I'm not gonna take him. I actually like JMO. He's probably my favorite. I've come around to Sutton. I know you were right. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. You're smart. All that stuff with Sutton last year, but
I'm indifferent this year though.
But the price is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get a little more Bo Nix. Like it's one of the Broncos are this crazy scenario where I'm like, I really like this offense, but I don't have that much exposure to the offense. Devontae Smith is easily my favorite player.
Mine as well. All right, so we start off with Josh Jacobs, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, JMO, and Devonta Smith. Not terrible.
This is an interesting question. It's obviously going to be a little probably player take driven. Who's your highest on quarterback right now?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my portfolio.
I think mine's Lawrence. But that's going to be a cop out to this specific question. If I can get 5th round Jalen Hurts, that's where I would love to get my quarterback one. The price discount on Hurts this year is I'm just taking it, man. Like I love the Eagles pass game. But I would say the quarterback, the air quotes quarterback window of from Baker to Lawrence or something like that is where I love to live. So like I'm gonna have Josh Allen. I have drafted Josh Allen. I have drafted Lamar, right? I've drafted those guys. But Hurts is the one elite like priority for me if I'm placing a priority on it. And if I don't get that, then I really do prefer once I get to like Purdy or something like that. Like in the Purdy, JJ McCarthy, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, right? There's just like so many quarterback options in that 100 to 130 range that I live there a lot.
My
Herbert, best ball and said Herbert. Yeah, Herbert.
It is actually Herbert.
He might actually be my highest on.
Herbert is, I have 20% of Herbert, 19% of Mahomes, and 18% of Kyler at the moment. But I'm also higher on elite quarterbacks again this year, more so than most people. But you know who else is on elite quarterback this year? Lord Reeves. And if Lord Reeves is on elite quarterbacks, then I feel good.
Yeah, we pile in. That's what we do. Although Rich gives a truly endless amount of incredible advice. I love Rich. He's no offense to you, Rob. He's probably my favorite fantasy football analyst walking planet Earth. He did, however, convince me to get some exposure to Rachaad White last year when we did a show together, and I will never forgive him for those wasted 5th round Rachaad White shares or whatever. He was not wrong. His reasoning was not wrong. He got me on a lot of other, truly, like, as Rich always does, right? The dude is a fucking genius. He's kind of like the Rain Man of fantasy football. Like, you could roll out a bunch of jelly beans that all have football stats on them, and he would be able to recite them without even like it's nuts, dude. This dude has the brain. Like I said, it's just straight Rain Man-esque. Like, he can just recite, like, he reads it once, he researches something. He's like, so-and-so had like 7 top 4 tight end games on the year when the, sun was shining and it was above 75 degrees outside. And you're just like, how the fuck do you know that? And how can you say it so fast every time?
And he only eats blueberry pancakes.
He's like,
every single game day.
When he had chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast and it was 75 degrees outside and, the sun was shining, he was a RB1 90% of the time. And you're like, how the fuck do you know that, dude? And how can
he only wet the bed twice after the age of 3. He's an incredible talent.
Oh, man. Yet Goff is another one of the, like, Knicks guys for me where I'm like, I think I need to have more of that guy. I don't love him. I don't love the price. I like, it's one of those where you're like, wow, that is a crazy Joe Burrow fall, but we got to just give it to Chris, right?
Yeah. We can give him a gift. Do you want to do Laporta? Have anyone else?
Do you want to do Laporta and try to stack the Lions, or do you do?
Or do you like
try to double dip them?
Let's do Diggs.
I'm down for Diggs
because I want to do something else.
Okay. Oh, that. Okay. I see.
I would also like to
do. What you're getting at.
I would also like to do Jaden Reed.
What's your exposure split on Golden versus Reed?
It has significantly weighed in the favor of Reed lately. But we can do Golden if you prefer Golden.
I like Golden better than Reed.
That is blasphemy, but we will take Golden.
I know you're a Jaden Reed stan, and
I was trying to be out on him.
I'm notably batting fucking 0 in these debate offs that we've had. It's like I get some things right. I promise every year. I promise I do get a couple of things right. It's just every time Rob and I go head to head, like fucking Mario and Bowser, I lose. I'm Bowser every goddamn time.
I think you made a great quarterback point this past week, I believe, though. Maybe last week now because it's Monday. You were talking with Pat about quarterbacks, and you were talking about how you put Purdy at the top of like that clustered lump. And I think that's great advice overall, not specifically Purdy, just picking your guy in that bunch and sort of moving them up to make sure that whoever you like the best, whether it's Purdy or Herbert or Trevor Lawrence or, name Jordan Love, if you like Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, I don't care who it is. I think if in your personal ranks, you move that guy to the front of that list, it doesn't mean that you're going to be heavily overexposed, but you're going to get more of that guy than all the other guys in general. So if you have a favorite in there, I would just move him up your ranks and, let the chips fall as they may at that point.
Yep. And so for me, part of what happened was I kind of was indifferent to the quarterbacks in that range, but I'm higher on like all the Niners pass catchers than the market is. Right. And so it's like, if I don't move Purdy up, right, if I think Juwan is a good pick and Pearsall is a good pick and Kittle is a good, right, if I think all the 49ers are good picks, but I don't prioritize Purdy, I'm like, what story am I really telling with this? Right. It's like, you clearly like the Niners. You should like the goddamn quarterback. That there's nuance to that, right? Like it, the old Big Ben days is like, you could like the Steelers and not like I like the Rams, but I don't like Stafford, but Purdy is not one of those. Right. And most of the quarterbacks that go in that range are like Knicks, Kyler, Herbert. We talked about May, Fields, which, those guys might be on this team. Like they're all good. They're all good fantasy assets. So like if you want to prioritize someone, just don't be a fucking coward, right? You can always like, this is what I'm doing with the Broncos. Like, well, what I was bringing up with Sutton is like, I like the other quarterbacks better at cost, but I also like am excited for the Broncos offense. So I shouldn't have 0 Bo Nix. It's just like make that like a sticky note, right? Bo Nix is like a sticky note, whereas Brock Purdy is like this is the priority, right? When the computer opens, the computer tells you to draft Brock Purdy. You need the sticky note to remind yourself to draft Bo Nix. Is kind of like how I'm thinking about it.
That's a great call, and this is the trouble you have with some quarterbacks where all of Purdy's guys essentially go before him. So you're lining up, you're lining up that. And Nix, I mean, it's Sutton, it's Harvey, but Ingram goes right around him, and then all the dart throws are after him. So you sort of overlook him because you don't have a Bronco on your team. And he's definitely a guy that you need to make sure you're just clicking naked and then backstacking. And you can do it all the way up to like the 20th round, because you can just take a shot on Troy Franklin if you want. Like, it's like why
Dele,
not?
Franklin, whatever. There's you can stack the Broncos in every draft. Whether you have Courtland Sutton or not doesn't matter. Whether you have RJ Harvey or not doesn't matter. But like you said, it's a sticky note. You have to remind yourself to do it. You're like, we could get to September and I'm like, holy shit, I have 1% Bo Nix, and that was not the plan, because you have to remind yourself to do it, especially if you're like us and you're just like, Courtland Sutton in the 5th round is straight oatmeal, man. Like, I don't get, like, I'm not excited. I'm not excited about that. So I have to either force myself to take some Sutton or force myself to take some Nix without Sutton, because I won't do it if I don't like force myself to.
Yep. We are going to be back on the clock here in a second.
Definitely could. Adam says I kind of think the Broncos take a step back. I kind of think they took a step forward, but it's possible they overachieved.
You want to grab Mason on this team or Jalen Warren?
I think you need to take Pacheco on this team.
You want to take Pacheco?
He's a round and a half. This is a nice fall.
All right.
This is a great way. This is a great way to get your Pacheco. This is what Adam was talking about with taking our faller medicine.
We'll do it.
What's quarterback? Kyler.
We're looking at Kyler. We're looking at Goff.
Fields is gone.
Yeah, Fields just went.
I think we wait probably.
We can push it if we want. Do you want to take another running back? Do you want to take...
Unless you want to take Mooney and set up Penix, also give you another out to...
I think I'd rather have Warren or Mason here.
I'm down for Mason. I'm down for Mason.
Let's do Mason.
He's my highest owned non-Will Shipley running back. My second highest owned player, Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Will Shipley, Jordan Mason, Rashee Rice, Tyler Algier, and Trey Harris are my 5 highest owned players.
No, I'm not lost. Pacheco is a blind spot player for me. So no matter where I see his name, I just don't click it. We all have him. We all have him. Definitely not lost. He's just like not doing it. So we'll
see, Martin is having the same issue. He's like, that was the Pacheco. What Rob just did with Pacheco is what Martin is like with Sutton. He's like, he's around past ADP, but you're like, I know I'm supposed to click him, but let's move down to the next. But Olave, what if he doesn't get a concussion? Right? You're just like you can't help yourself but to move on to the next guy.
Olave is like one of my favorite clicks on the board.
Me too. I don't have enough.
6th round Olave. Sign me up.
I have him like way ahead of ADP too, and it's my exposure. I have like 7%. Yeah, I have 7% Chris Olave. Like, it's stupid. I don't really know. I shouldn't say I don't know why. Especially on DraftKings, Travion Henderson is like always there when Olave is on the board, and I just fucking click Henderson every single time. RJ Harvey is falling there. Sometimes Joe Mixon is falling there sometimes now. So that's the problem. But like, the Olave price is awesome. He's been going in the 2nd round. And now we're like concerned. And I get it, right? Tyler Shuck, not great. Concussions, I get it. But like, that's the fucking point. We're getting the discount now to find out if this is still Chris Olave, and like I'm down to buy that.
I'm more concerned about Shaheed than I am Olave with the
He
state
blew
of
out
the
his
offense.
knee
Yeah, blew out. I mean, like that's a scarier proposition to me than
for a speed guy.
Yeah, for a speed guy with Shuck as the quarterback, like just the offense as a whole, feels like they're just going to feed Olave a ton. it just feels so obvious.
Aren't we all, AJ?
Yeah. So, but Olave, great click in my opinion. Great
So
click.com.
Adam says Mason only around after Jones feels kind of off. I kind of think Jordan Mason is just a better fantasy asset, like period. So I'm gonna keep buying it when he's cheaper than Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Well, if you're seeing that with two players at the same position, the alarm bells should probably go off on the guy going first. And you should be wondering, why is Aaron Jones going this late? And then why is his backup going this early? It doesn't always correlate to what happens in the season by any means.
Yeah.
But that is something that I would be.
Chase Brown with Zach Moss last year. It was Chase Brown with Zach Moss last year.
Yeah. All right. We are back on the clock here in a second.
Oh boy. I don't want to talk about Javonte anymore. I had like a 30-minute Dallas Cowboys backfield conversation yesterday we streamed for 2 hours and 30 minutes of it was about the fucking Cowboys shit ass running backs again yesterday.
I mean, well, the obvious click here is Jordan Love. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
We just
the only thing you could do is if you preferred one of these other guys, because I don't think Chris was gonna take Love.
Well, do you want to do Colston Loveland as a bring back?
I'm just looking at the
We have
board.
no
I mean,
we don't.
Yeah. Let's do it. I like Njoku better than Loveland, but I'm down to break a tie to.
I like Njoku better as well, but I feel like for this team, we can take Loveland. Just sort of what I'm thinking.
Cowboys running back group is just fuck Jerry Jones, dude, for doing 2 years in a row. Rico Dowdle, Zeke, and Deuce Vaughn, and then Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jaden Blue. Like, fuck off, man. Just draft a real running back so we don't have to he drafted a fucking kick returner and signed Javonte and Miles Sanders. Like, just bring Dowdle back so we don't have to do this.
Jerry Jones, the only one who made me think that I have to draft Miles Sanders again.
Seriously. I'm like, is Miles Sanders a good click in the last round of best ball drafts? Like, it's a thought that no one should ever have to have. But Jerry Jones is making it happen, Go pull up the Underdog little blurbs, right? Wherever they get their blurbs from on the player pages. Like, Miles Sanders is running with the ones in camp alongside Javonte. And you're like, God damn it, dude. Just God damn it. Like, this is so stupid.
You know what tournament Miles Sanders is going to be a phenomenal click in?
The weeks 1 to 4. Are they going to do that one on DraftKings this year?
They better, or I'm going to protest at their office.
You need to at DK Assist, I think, because I'm not sure if they're going to do that tournament.
They filled 3 of them last year.
I know, it doesn't make any sense. Don't shoot the fucking witness, or the messenger, the witness, or both, I guess. I am the messenger and the witness. They apparently are not so game on those. I think they're screwing up the data. The weeks 1 to 4 contest is awesome and fills. I think they're including like the other, the like week 6, right? The weeks, they launch a new tournament every Monday. I think they're including that one in their data and saying it's not that popular. So yes, at DK Assist.
Dude, their office is 30 minutes from my house. I'll just go hold a sign up outside.
Yeah, just bring some Red Bull vodkas for all the fucking DK interns that are back there, and they'll launch whatever tournament you want.
I'm gonna be pissed if they don't launch a September only. It was I thought it was the most fun tournament there was.
This is great. Jesus. Our good friend Corinne has Miles Sanders at 179. We are doomed. As a community, that is for sure. I mean, we were doomed when Rob and I showed up wearing fucking jerseys to draft the best ball team at our ages, but we don't have to go into that either. And
at least yours is new. Mine is legitimately from high school.
It was also very expensive, which I'm not proud of. I own a bunch of very expensive basketball jerseys that collect a lot of dust in the closet.
Yeah, I think I got this one when I was like,
I think I'm the only person ever that went to mitchellandness.com and bought that Darius Miles jersey that you see back behind you. Like, Darius Miles didn't buy that jersey from like has anyone ever gone to the Mitchell and Ness site and bought a Darius Miles jersey besides me?
No,
to frame it on the wall.
They just did the Beyonce meme when you bought it. They all just went like this. They were like, Darius Miles, what do we do?
They actually had an emergency meeting because they had to go make it. They're like, we put it up there, but nobody actually buys it. Some fucking asshole in St. Louis just spent $200 on a Darius Miles Clipper jersey.
Oh, shit.
Oh God. This is a good one from our early the Blue Lions Barry Sanders jersey is for sure a good one.
Yeah, I'm mad at myself that I never had a Barry Sanders jersey. I don't know why that is.
I definitely did. Also had a Oz Hakeem jersey.
Oh, hell yeah.
On the Rams. Speaking of niche.
Yeah, well, you had to live in the area to get that one.
Yeah. You couldn't get those unless you were here.
Do we just figure out the Trevor Lawrence thing at this point?
Out. There's ways to backstack Trevor Lawrence. You just fucking figure it out when he falls.
All right, let's do that.
What's the
Trey Benson, you dickhead?
I was just gonna say, I know you love Benson.
Tank
to go with him or Algier?
Which one do you prefer?
I mean, I prefer Algier, but the Tank could make more sense on this team.
Yeah, we'll take Algier.
That's a unique one. Julio. What's a jersey like this of a player who only play, like Penny on the Suns? Like if I buy a Penny Suns jersey and show up next week with a, I don't even know what fucking number he wore on the Suns. That's like the Julio Titans era, right?
What would Shaq Celtics jersey?
Antonio Brown on the Patriots.
Yeah, well, that was one game. That was great. It was a good game.
He didn't even want to wear it. He fucking ripped it off and ran to the locker room.
That was a Bucks jersey.
Oh yeah, that was Bucks. It's also Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is the problem. I don't think it's CTE. I think once Tom Brady got into Antonio Brown's life, all hell broke loose.
The Raiders. I had. I don't know if I still have it kicking around somewhere.
Remember when he froze his feet?
Yes.
On the Raiders?
Yeah.
He froze his feet on it was his feet, right? He also refused to practice because of his helmet.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. Like, dude, the Antonio Brown Raiders saga is like there should be a documentary about him, of course. We should study his brain. But the Antonio Brown, specifically the Raiders little saga, is John Gruden is there. He now works at Barstool. Yeah. Like everything about that little stretch is hilarious. Like absolutely hilarious.
I had a signed Raiders Antonio Brown jersey. He never actually played for them. Like he
did not play a game.
He didn't play a game. And I actually
he was the big, huge signing, like Gruden, Antonio Brown. We're going to Vegas. We're going to be competitive. And it was like, oh no, if only you guys know how this is going to end. Gruden is going to send some really, really bad emails. And Antonio Brown is going to like turn into a crazy person.
Remember him running out the house when they finally released him? screaming he was free.
No one knows where Antonio Brown is charged with attempted murder, and no one knows where he is.
He's still tweeting from the barbershop.
He's still tweeting. He keeps tweeting he's in a different place. This is like a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, I think Underdog should sign him to do a show, and it's just a show on the move.
What's the difference between him and Gilbert Arenas? I mean, Jesus.
I want to see the best ball teams that he drafts.
If Gilbert Arenas is drafting those, imagine what Antonio Brown will draft.
Dude will break the mold for sure.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. So seriously, what's another, right? Like region, yeah, like jersey, yeah. The Suns apparently have a lot of those.
The Moss Titan jersey too, not just the Julio.
Yeah,
the Randy Moss Titans.
I mean, Moss Raiders will be good. The worst year of his career, right? And then goes to the Patriots.
Yeah, everyone thought he was washed when he was with the Raiders.
The fucking Patriots, dude, just unbelievable. Just get these guys on insane discounts because of crazy circumstances. Yes, Brendan.
Strange, of course, right?
Slam dunk. Rice Seahawks jersey. Pie says.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, Rice Raiders is everybody obviously remembers Rice for the 49ers, but he played for multiple other.
Emmett Smith Cardinals.
Oh, that's a good one. Edger and James Cardinals. Apparently the Cardinals are the teams in Phoenix. This is a lot of Phoenix. Nobody goes to Phoenix until their career's over. Is what we've learned.
Do we want to hit a running back again? We're at 2-4-6-2. We got Rico.
I like Dowdle or Shipley. He's
Allen.
Dowdle. Yeah.
Dowdle feels right.
Ooh, Plummer Broncos. I remember, so the best man in my wedding, my high school best friend, moved here from Denver and still is a diehard Broncos fan, like absolute diehard Broncos fan. When they got Jake Plummer, he thought like Jake the Snake is taking us to the fucking promised land. Like that was it, right? It because it went from Elway to fucking nothingness for the right, and you've had all the bullshit years for the Broncos, but Jake Plummer was like, you know, we called God and they sent us Jake Plummer. He's going to save the Broncos franchise after Elway, and holy cow, could that not have been further from the truth?
How about the reverse ones? How about the ones that started on a team, did nothing, and then moved? So, I mean, the main one you would think of is Brett Favre on the Falcons, right?
Yeah, Falcons Favre, yeah.
Yeah, Falcons Favre, for sure.
Have you watched the Favre documentary?
No.
On Netflix? It's good.
Is it?
I mean, it's good in ways that Brett Favre is the fucking total straight scum. Like, even scummier than I thought. Like, I knew he was like a total scumbag, but it's worse. Just watch the it's, you know, it's the Untold or whatever Netflix, you know, like they did the McNair and they did all those Donaghy and whatever. But yeah, Brett Favre, what a fucking loser.
My mother worked with his brother.
I bet most people don't. What percentage of people do you think know that he even played for the Falcons?
I don't think a lot.
Because they went in and scooped it. The Packers like identified him as like, we need to go trade for Brett Favre because the Falcons aren't playing him.
Right.
I don't think people know that.
Well, God, I forget who the coach was at the time.
This is funny.
I can see him, but the coach was like, the coach hated him, and
the
he
Falcons
was like,
coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Glanville? Was it Jerry Glanville? But he could throw the ball into like the upper deck from the field, and he was like,
he was white Jamarcus
Russell. Never do it. Yeah,
Brett Favre.
But could actually play.
But was good. Yeah. He wasn't. They wouldn't even let him be the backup. They hated him.
Right.
The Falcons.
Yeah, they absolutely hated him.
See, I mean, it was a long time ago, so I don't expect everybody.
Yeah.
But that's why he was like a cold tier. That's why all this stuff that's now come out of him being such a bad guy is like heartbreaking for Packers fans because he was like cult hero. They went and found, it's like Kurt Warner for me as a Rams fan, right? It's like this dude was fucking bagging groceries and we found him. There is Miles Sanders there. Jarquez Hunter, though, is my favorite running back available here.
We can take Jarquez Hunter. I'm fine with that.
I assume, is Diami gone?
That's who I was looking for, but he must be gone at this point.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's like his ADP is like early 200s on. Could do Io Manor on the.
He's one of my favorite clicks.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hell yeah.
That's funny. That's an interesting idea. What about those? Obviously Eli. The Chargers had the first pick, and Eli refused to play for them. Do you think they made any Eli jerseys? Are they like? Is there like an African child somewhere that has an Eli Chargers jersey?
I doubt it. I think they knew how that was going to play out, and the other one would be an
Elway
Colts jersey.
Elway Colts,
yeah.
More Denver. Why did Eli not want to play for the Chargers? I don't remember. It's so interesting.
You'll never get the real story behind why he didn't want to play for them, but it had to do with, if I recall correctly, I'm just going off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Their father wanted him in the NFC.
Archie.
Yeah, I think Archie wanted him in the NFC.
I mean, it worked out. I can't really blame. Like, Eli's going to the Hall of Fame despite being the most mid-ass fucking quarterback, or he's in the Hall of Fame despite being the most mid-ass quarterback ever because of they beat one of the best teams of all time and such. But just crazy. Like, he's looked at as like everybody, like they do a fucking Manning cast. Yeah. And the dude forced his way out of, like, refused to play for a team. Like, look, I love to clown Shador, but like everyone would clown Shador, right? If Cam Ward did that, can you imagine if Cam Ward said, no, I'm not playing for the fucking Titans? Absolutely not. I don't want to live in Nashville. Like, everyone would hate him. But Eli did it, and we give him a fucking ESPN show.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
And you couldn't even say it was for the location either, because San Diego, dude.
The nicest city in the whole goddamn country.
Right. You'd rather go play in New York? I guess.
Jersey.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. Yeah, I don't think the Joe Montana Chiefs jersey counts because they still got to the AFC Championship game. He was still good there.
That's like the cutoff, I think. We can't. Montana Chiefs is too relevant.
Yeah.
He was too relevant.
He was too good.
They're it. Michael Vick Chargers? Was this before he went to prison or something?
No, this has to be. This is probably where he ended because there's also a Vick Steelers jersey as well.
I know the Steelers, but dude, speaking of like reminiscing about all the shit, it was Thursday Night Football, right? Or was it Monday Night Football? The throw, like the Vic Deshaun Jackson, like
Monday night against Washington.
It was Monday night against Washington.
Yeah,
that's easily one of the top like football memories for me ever. It really sucked. It really like Michael Vick. Fuck him. Like, he was like my favorite quarterback of all. Like, if he hadn't done what he did, the dogfighting stuff, we'd be sitting here talking about there might be a Michael Vick jersey on my wall. Like, that dude was so fun as a football player. I mean, my gosh, what could have been?
I don't hate taking a third tight end on this team.
What are the Loveland Strange? Yeah, I would take 3. I would take 3. What about Fannin on this team?
Fannin?
Yeah.
Oh, Fannon's fun. We can do Fannin. Just shoot for pure upside.
Yeah.
I do like Juwan too, though. I also think Juwan's way under.
I'm fine with Juwan. But I was just thinking, like, Brenton Strange is just like are gonna be weekly solid every single week.
Any flyers you want to take here?
Not really.
Gross.
Let's do 5 seconds. I got nothing. You pick. Rashard Smith's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, let's lock up that Chiefs backfield, baby.
Oh yeah, we took Pacheco. Just got to
Sounds
fade Eli Mitchell. I like it. Well, Hunt, but we're already fading Hunt.
Yeah. So we went with.
Okay.
He didn't
For
switch
the audio
teams.
listeners. For the audio listeners, someone said, "How about a Ray Caruth Panthers jersey?" Like, well, technically, yes. I bet you.
Oh, you could get. Okay, I got another one because you can get a OJ Simpson. Fuck, where did he go afterwards? Did he go to the Niners?
I don't know. That was before my time. I don't remember the OJ career arc.
I think he went somewhere. And Joe Namath. You should know the Namath one.
Dude. Joe Namath. Oh my god. He had a crazy. Hold on. I gotta look this up because didn't he bebop around to a couple different teams?
He went to the Rams.
It was only it was just the Rams. See, for some reason I thought Namath. So obviously it was Jets for like 12 years. For some reason I thought it was Rams, and then he had another stop. He did and I was trying to think of like, did he do like Rams and then, Steelers or whatever? And I was wrong. But yeah, he played 4 games for the Rams.
Yeah,
the Los Angeles Rams.
The only reason I know that is because Nelly wore a Namath jersey in one of his videos, and I was like, what is that jersey?
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Cornelius Haynes is a fraud. He made putting a bandana or a Band-Aid on your face very popular, and we appreciate his bringing St. Louis to more prominence. But the Joe Namath jersey, like, what? That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. Like, if I wore the Penny Phoenix Suns jersey, like, that's not cool. You're not being cool.
Also, I nailed it. OJ Simpson played the last 2 years of his career with the 49ers.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You never hear about it. Although you never hear about his career.
I didn't know that. Yeah. we make a new show or documentary about OJ every other year, but it never talks about his
they never bring up his time in San Francisco.
I know every ounce of evidence that it was against his murder trial, but I don't know anything about his football career.
Can you believe he tried to make like a prank show a couple of years before he died?
Yes. Insane. Absolutely insane. Like, truly, there's certain things where you're like, is this a simulation? And that's on the list of like, someone is up there pulling string. Like, this is like, I'm living in an episode of The Good Place for sure. Like, there's no way that this is real. Like, OJ Simpson is like, when Exhibit is tricking out cars and OJ Simpson is doing his own, reality show, you're just like, how can this be real? Like, how this doesn't make any sense. How can this be real?
I have a fun
like
game to play.
Exhibit is like a famous host of a team. Most people know Exhibit for tricking out cars. Probably more people know him for tricking out cars than his actual career. Like, that's insane.
Clay Matthews on the Rams is a good one.
Who are we picking here with 10 seconds left, by the way?
Oh, did we not pick?
No.
I thought I picked. Oh, shit. I thought we were done.
Oh, no, not Russ. Pick a shit. Who did you take, Russ?
Probably.
This is the perfect.
Hell yeah.
This is the perfect ending to first of all, Malik Neighbors is on this team.
Yeah.
So it works.
It was perfect, actually.
And it's the most perfect ending to the whole point of this stupid show, which is us just like riffing about dumb shit. And we're talking we're lost in a conversation about OJ Simpson and Exhibit and forget that we have to make the last pick in the draft.
Look
but
at
it
Russ.
actually
He's
works.
wearing his eye black in his team photo. What are we doing?
He's doing high knees down the middle, down the middle of this team plane for sure.
So we went with Malik Neighbors, Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, J-Mo, Devonta Smith, Steph Diggs, Golden, Pacheco, Mason, Love for a Green Bay stack, Loveland for the bring back, Trevor Lawrence we backstacked. We got Algier, we got Brenton Strange, Rico Dowdle, Jacquez Hunter, Io Manor, Harold Fannin Jr., Rashad Smith, and Russ Wilson to just get that extra. I heard 3 QBs is what to do this year, and
if you don't draft them, you're dead.
We did it.
So we had to get the third. That's why we started talking about Pimp My Ride, because we knew that it would lead us to Russell Wilson somehow.
I have a game that we can play next Monday night.
Okay.
The game is, and I don't want you to look this up in advance. I found a list a few years ago.
I am a man of integrity. I'm not going to cheat for this game.
I found a list a few years ago.
Hold on. I literally ate a bunch of hot dogs on the show again because I am a man of such integrity that I embarrassed the shit out of myself not knowing how fast most of these guys ran a 40. I screwed up 5 different 40 times because I have so much integrity that I would not use Google. So please don't question my me being able to wait till next week for this. But I'm into this game. Go ahead. Sorry.
RGT, I don't know what we're talking about when you got I didn't mention it the whole draft, but what is your profile picture here, buddy? I don't know. Have you seen it? Have you seen RGT's profile picture?
No. Oh,
it's the 7 hole there.
Oh my God. Let's not. RG, someone with that username. Why am I surprised? All right. Okay, what's the game?
The game is I'm going to pull up a list that has the number 0 to 99, and you have to tell me who the best player in all of sports is related to that number. So 99 is an easy one. We'll just start there. Like, so for example, we'll go through. I'll say number 99. You would say,
who is the best number 99? No. Why am I blanking?
You don't know who the best number 9?
No.
Oh my God, this game is going to be amazing.
Number 9? Yeah. This is not my area of expertise. Who is the best number 9? Warren Sapp?
All of sports.
All of sports. 99. Oh, Gretzky. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Gretzky. Okay. Sorry. Okay. That's embarrassing, but yes. Okay. Got it. You're going to have to give me, however long you think it takes a person, give me 10 more seconds than what you think it takes apparently for this game.
So
but I'm in.
We'll do that next week. I think it starts at 0-0 and goes up to 9.
Double zero and 0 are 2 different numbers.
Correct.
Up to 99. Okay.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find an updated one. I was like 5 years ago last time I looked at this list.
23 will get interesting. Yes, it will. I already know my answer for that because I'm gonna cheat.
Yeah. Well,
LeBron's 6. I can use LeBron at 6 and MJ at 23.
LeBron's the best number 6?
Yes. Oh,
I don't remember what the list says, but
LeBron is the best basketball player of all time. He gets number 6. Period. I'm only creating the caveat for MJ.
He doesn't get 6. He didn't wear it long enough.
There's
a better basketball player that's number 6.
Okay, there's not a better basketball player than number 6. There's a baseball player that starts to get into the conversation at 6. But there's not a better basketball player that wore number 6.
He won the most championship. Bill Russell is number 6.
That doesn't make him a better player. That doesn't make him a better player. That is not Robert Horry. Is Robert Horry going to be on your fucking list next for winning so many championships?
Robert Horry was
Steve
a
Kerr.
Role player.
Bill Russell's a glorified role player.
MJ does not get 45. MJ does not get 45.
That's disrespectful.
But I'm not the one making up the list.
MJ.
I'm not the one making up the list.
I know I'm not making it up either. I'm trying to get LeBron and MJ on the list. I'm trying to make it make sense. I respect Bill Russell. He's a legend. He's not LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
that's no.
better.
We're about to do the most first take ass show. We are going to do Skip Bayless and Steve next Monday. If you love First Take, come back next Monday, because we're going to do that. If you enjoy watching some dude play solitaire at the NBA Finals, show up next Monday.
We all know who gets 20. I
really am. I can't believe there was 5 seconds where I was like, what is he talking about? Warren Sapp? Like, Warren Sapp's not that good. And I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, Wayne Gretzky,
Yeah.
But like, we're all human. We have a little blips, but I'll go to fucking war over some of these for sure. Like,
well, hockey makes it hard for me personally. Cause like the only one I know.
We're going to get to 16. Gretzky. Yeah. We're going to get to 16 and I'm going to say Brett Hull. And I don't know anyone that ever wore another 16, but no one knows who Brett Hull is besides St. Louis people, right. So it's like all he does when we won the Stanley Cup. I can't believe I just said we, but yeah, it's true. I did it. When the Blues won the Stanley Cup, Brett Hull was drunk for a month, like shit faced for a month. So he's like he's just a total legend. He showed up. He was at every St. Louis bar for like 8 a.m. Brett Hull's there drinking a fucking Bud Select. So the list is going to get interesting in those unique numbers. But these are the stupid things that the point of this show, right? Guys will argue, or guys will talk about obscure athletes all day and be happy. Like, yes, I am. That is me. The tweet was about me. I will talk about it.
Yeah. And if you are in the chat and you want to play along next week and throw names out there, don't go looking up a list in the meantime.
Yeah, no cheating. I'm not going to cheat.
Don't cheat. There's no need to cheat. I'll try to find an updated list.
Oh, fuck. I just cheated, but Doc said Montana. I'm still saying Brett Hull. I don't care.
Yeah. So that's going to be next week's game. Maybe we'll draft the team too. Who knows? I feel like we might not be able to. I feel like this list is going to be a big fucking argument for way too long.
There's no chance we could draft the team and get through all of those. No, we couldn't get through the top 10 and draft the team.
I don't know how many are going to be unanimous between
We didn't agree on number 6, brother. Like, we're not going to get to 99.
We agreed on 99 at least.
That's true. We agreed on 99. The top 5 is going to be the problem. With the end, we might actually agree. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the numbers you start thinking about, you're like, dude, I don't know. What the hell is number 62? You know? So maybe we'll power through those ones.
We're going to be Googling. We're just going to be like, did anyone ever wear 62 who was good at sports? Yeah. Google AI, please. ChatGPT, save us for 74 or whatever.
Good point, Benny. That's got to be George Marathon. If I'm guessing,
I agree. I agree. I've legit almost purchased the George Marathon jersey because
he was 77, right?
Mm-hmm, he was 77.
I'm so sad that I know that.
It's pathetic, but that's also the point of the show: is that we are sad, pathetic best ball bros sitting in the basement talking about George Marathon and debating who the best number 6 of all time is while drafting Russell Wilson in the last round accidentally of a best ball draft. This is perfect timing though, Rob. I'm gonna be honest. NBA Finals starting tonight. We'll see you guys next Monday. How about that? We're gonna debate. Jesus Christ, it's gonna be a shit show. We're gonna debate some jersey numbers. Maybe draft the best ball team. We'll see you guys next Monday. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.